So I was at a couple yard sales last week. I ran into this little beauty. I'm Kevin Porter, and welcome to Video Rental Chaos. What happens when you put Harold Ramis, Douglas Keeney, and Chris Miller in one room? Well, you get the script to the 1978 comedy hit National Lampoons' Animal House. Directed by John Landis, Animal House is by all means one of the most historical comedy films of all time. In 2001, the Library of Congress added National Lampoon's Animal House to the National Film Registry. Make sure you have your pledge pin on, and let's jump right on into this classic comedy. The movie takes place in the fall of 1962. We're introduced to college freshmen Larry Kroger and Kent Dorfman as they arrive at the Omega House during that year's rush week. We are quick to find out that neither Kent or Larry are welcome at this fraternity. Seemingly out of luck, Kent says the two of them should try to pledge at the fraternity across the street, the Delta House. Kent's older brother Fred was a Delta member years ago, so Kent should be a shoo-in. Our journey continues as we meet all the main characters of this drunk frat house. From the top down, we have Otter, Boone, Hoove, Bluto, and D-Day. Plus we meet Boone's cute little girlfriend, Katie. We meet Dean Wormer as he discusses the Deltas and that he needs to rid Faber College of this poison. At this point moving forward, the Delta boys are on double secret probation. Soon after the party, the Delta meet and decide who to take on as pledges for the school year. Kent and Larry both get accepted and were given the rush names Pinto and Flounder. On the other end of the street, we see the Omegas had made their decision as well. ROTC Cadet Commander Niedermeyer takes Flounder under his wing of abuse and lets him know that he's pulled horseshit duty for the foreseeable future. Both Boone and Otter are present for this incident and decide that today's a great day to work on their golf swing. We get a pretty fun scene with Boone, Katie, and Pinto ending up at their professor's house smoking pot. We see that D-Day and Bluto set Flounder up to get a measure of revenge on Niedermeyer. They bring the horse to Dean Wormer's office and accidentally give the thoroughbred a heart attack. The next day, Otter pulls up for lunch with Mandy Pepperidge, whom he had previously had a one-night stand with. Greg and the gang find Otter and Mandy together, and you assume some sort of fight is about ready to take place. But that's when Bluto shows up, and well, incites one of the most memorable scenes in movie history, the hilarious food fight. This time around, since they're now on double secret probation, the Omegas switch out the answer key and the entire fraternity fails their psychology exam. This allows a surprise visit from the dean, and he informs the Delta boys that he only needs one more incident in order to revoke their charter. Well, when you're faced with the end of your fraternity, what's the logical answer? Toga, toga, toga. A toga party, of course! While on a trip to a local supermarket, Pinto meets a checkout girl by the name of Clarette. He asks her if she would like to go to the party. She says yes. On the same trip, Otter runs into Dean Wormer's wife in the produce section. We are led to believe that Otter may have just struck out. Well, when you're throwing one last bash, you have to hire Otis Day and the Knights to perform. We see Dean Wormer's wife show up and ends up in bed with Otter. We learn that Pinto does have a conscience. Dean Wormer soon finds out as his wife arrives home bombed out of her mind. And it turns out the cashier chick, well, she's the daughter of the mayor. This leads to a court hearing for the Deltas. It's clear from the get-go that they don't have a chance and decide to yell under their breath, "Blowjobs" and "Eat me" towards the court and abruptly stage a walkout. At this point, with their charter being no more, the boys decide to take Flounder's brother's car, much to the protest of Flounder. They embark on an epic road trip where they end up at an all-girls college. Otter has an article about a young girl dying weeks prior. He acts like her fiance when speaking to the front desk. This prompts her roommate to come down and unfortunately break the news of her death. Already knowing this, Otter charms the girl into finding dates for his friends, and they wind up at some bar where Otis Day and the Knight are playing. Thinking Otis would welcome them with open arms after their now legendary toga party. They're quick to find out though that they sure are the minority in this bar. Otter almost makes it with the dead girl's roommate, but once the rest of the crew is faced that the other men in this bar are interested in their dates, they quickly flee and proceed to destroy Fred's car that much worse. Once back from the road trip, Boone soon finds out that Katie cheated on him with the professor, thus ending their relationship for the time being. Otter, on the other hand, gets a phone call about Mandy wanting to see him. Greg and the Omegas are waiting for him, as earlier we learned that Greg found out about Mandy's extracurricular activities with Otter. At this point, Dean Wormer lines the other Deltas up in his office and expels the entire group. He even went to the effort to notify their local draft boards that these boys were no longer in school. Bluto rallies the troops with the help of Otter. The group decides that they must extract revenge on Dean Wormer and devise a plan to ruin the homecoming parade. With the creation of the Deathmobile, they enter the parade without the knowledge of Dean Wormer and the Omegas. Anarchy ensues as the boys destroy this college town tradition, eventually crashing into the stand where Dean Wormer, the mayor, and the Omegas are located. We're then shown how most of these characters' lives end up. Bluto even becoming a U.S. Senator. Only in National Lampoons, baby. Animal House is a movie that defined my love for comedy. I was introduced to this film by my dad in my early preteens. To this day, National Lampoon's Animal House is one of my favorite films of all time. John Belushi obviously being the standout of the entire group, he really did break through with his role as Bluto. Harold Ramis is one of my favorites also, with him playing a pivotal role in so many all-time classic comedies in the late 20th century. With today's standards being a lot more PC than generations past, Animal House stands the test of time, showing that you can have fun at the movies. Until next time, I'll see you at the video store.